Afternoon, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with my impression of this Ozark Trail knife that was given to me by Smellin' Roses, along with the sticker that he had sent me and a couple other goodies. So I haven't done a whole lot with it, so I'm not going to call this for a review. I'm just going to call this my impression. And so I've done a few things with it. You know, here's a piece of cardboard, and it happens to have some duct tape on it. It was the center portion of a box. This is stuck in the middle to separate two items when it was shipped to me. So, and I used this knife to cut this out, so sticking it through here. It's actually cutting through the tape. It actually cut through the tape. So not too bad for that. And this is the backing from another person's channel sticker. See how earlier I cut some sisal off of my cat's tower because when she claws at it, she tends to she pulls on it after a while, after on one spot, and then it starts to come loose. And I just cut those bits off, and I will turn them into fire starters. I'll dip them in wax. So I cut a few of them into smaller pieces because I don't want to make them super huge, or they will all be longer than this knife when it's open. So must have static in here because some of the paper stuck to the blade. But yeah, it's a little jagged, but you know, that sisal rope is pretty thick. It's not thin like twine or paracord. But yeah, I had to do it a few times before it'll cut, because it would cut a few strands of it, and then I'd have to pass it again to cut a few more. Sometimes it would take like 4 passes before it would cut, but the blade never shook. You know, there's no play in it. It's the liner lock, so it's steady. I mean, when I was pushing hard on it, it did not want to go cockeyed or anything like that. And one thing this knife can do, this is the ferro rod and striker set plus a mag bar that I had myself. These came from Tack Hill. I don't know if you can do it a little more. I don't know if you can see those sparks, but it does throw some good sparks off of this ferro rod. So that's if I didn't have the striker and I had this ferro rod in this knife, I could rip some good sparks off of it. And it looks perfectly centered to me still. There's no, well, there's a tiny bit of play when it's closed, but I'm not too worried about that. And it's very grippy, even though this is a smooth, it's called a rubberized plastic. so it has the grippiness of a rubber, but it's got grooves in it. This pivot sticks out just a hair, not enough to be bothered by it when you're holding it, and easy to open and close. I'm right-handed, so and even with my left hand I can open and close it. That's pretty easy. The lanyard hole is not big enough to put paracord through, so at least after you burn the ends, but I had just an old piece of a shoestring that I stuck in there. I just did that just for kicks. Or if I want to like pull back on it and not choke up on it like this, if I pull back on it, my pinky can go around this and grab onto that. And there's this is the first knife that I have seen that has jimping right here on the other end of the knife, where the lanyard hole is. It's the first time I've seen jimping there. My Lansky responder, that has some jimping on the back spacer here. It's a lot smoother, and it's bigger than the jimping that's here, but it doesn't bother me any. Sometimes I might like a little jimping, but yeah, this, for a very, very budget friendly knife, if this is what you can afford, go for it. I'm not a pocket clip user. It's just something that I don't wear clothes where I would have this in a pocket, because I wear loose clothes and I wear long shirts to cover my waistline, so this would not show anyway, and I would have to lift my shirt up to pull it up to out of my pocket if I used a clip. So I hardly ever put a knife in my pocket, but if I do, I would just drop it right down in, or I just put it in my purse. I keep another knife in my purse as my EDC, but I might swap it out and put this one in. I don't get to use it much, but I still like to have it just in case I need to cut something or someone else does and you need a blade. So, oh yeah, borrow this. So anyway, this is my impression of Ozark Trail budget-friendly knife that you can get at Walmart. And another thing about this one, although green is my favorite color, this orange be very, very easy to see if I were to drop it, say in snow or on the ground, and there's even mixed up with leaves. I would still be able to find it. So yeah, this again, Smelling Roses. A shout out to him for sending me this knife, and he said he likes to buy these to give him as gifts. Very, very nice thing. Very generous. For those that can't afford anything like a CRKT or a Becker or any of those other high dollar brands, it's a good starter. Maybe something to give a teen for their first pocket knife, teaching them how to use it responsibly. This would be a good choice. So again, thanks to Smelling Roses for sending me this nifty little blade, and thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.